Hey, what's going on, family? T Speaks here. First thing I'd like you guys to do, first of all, especially my sisters and my brothers, I need you to share this broadcast. Definitely follow. Don't forget T Speaks Live on YouTube as well. You want to follow there because there's a lot of content that I put there. I wanted to address right now my brothers. This is specifically to my brothers. But as always, my sisters, you are invited. And the reason why is because many of you will be the first to listen to something. Many of you will be the first to encourage a man to, hey, take a listen to this. Oh, I heard this. Many of you will attach yourselves to a particular word and go from there. Men are a bit more skeptical. Men are a bit more reserved. Men are a little bit more leery, if you will. They're going to have to hear something that they identify with, even to turn the ear, let alone start to actually follow and say, hey, wait a minute, I can gather something. I want to talk because right now we're preparing just a couple hours more and we're going to enter into Father's Day 2021. I believe that this Father's Day is unlike any other simply because the world has changed in such a way. It's no longer what we had grown accustomed to. It's no longer what we call familiar. It has since changed and it will never go back to the way that it was. This year, 2021, the year 2020 was challenging. So from last year's Father's Day to this one, we've had unprecedented challenges. We've had oppositions. We've had a bunch of emotions, from getting laid off, from actually maybe getting evicted, to having to double down and do things less than what we've become accustomed to. And some of us, not all of us, are celebrating Father's Day, but then there are a group of my brothers that I wanted to address to you. And what I want to say to you, brothers, in light of tomorrow being Father's Day, is it's time to come home. Many brothers are estranged from their children, whether they're toddlers, infants, adolescents, or even adults. Simply sometimes because we've messed up and chose to give up rather than try to fix it up. So other times the challenge just got too great. Even this year alone, the amount of brothers who are unemployed and couldn't put food on the table. When the pandemic first started, I personally went to Costco's and put up a message and said, any brother, particularly men, because we're the ones that are expected to always have it right. We're the ones that are expected to figure it out and to know exactly what to do in every situation, which is virtually impossible. By way of situations come sometimes like this COVID that we've never been accustomed to solving, and because we've been somehow put at the very, very top of understanding. And in the moment that we don't understand, oh, you must not be a man, oh, there must be a flaw. Well, how about if my challenge is just that great? I noticed some brothers have decided to give up. Some brothers in this last year, due to the pandemic and also the pressures of life, have decided to walk away from your children. Well, I got on this evening to tell you in the pre-hours of Father's Day that it is time to come home, brother. I'm begging and I'm pleading you to not let any type of adversity. I don't want you to look at your past and, the past, the enemy has a way of telling us and reminding us of what we've done, of letting us know when we screwed up, when we let our children down, we let our wives down, we let the women down, but ultimately the children, we've let them down in such a way that it's better sometimes just to keep going. Just to bury it down, and we departmentalize different things, and the hurt that we saw in the child's eyes when we weren't able to show up at the right time at a birthday or on Christmas, or even just in general. Or we got caught cheating on the child's mother. So we left, we got put out, or we just had a strange relationship and we just stopped. We just basically threw in the towel. We washed it up and said, you know what? That's it. I'm done. I'm throwing in the white flag. I surrender. I'm leaving. I'm going to go live my life. You can go ahead and deal with the kids. And you're going to be better off without me. You're going to go ahead and do whatever you're going to do. Get with someone else. My child is going to be raised by you, and you're the better parent for right now. Or sometimes we're just so frustrated with the pressures of life that we sometimes feel as if, we don't want to fight for us and the children anymore. We can barely make ends meet for ourselves, and the mothers sometimes have a better position, or they have a better circle, or they have a better support system, whatever the case may be, and men oftentimes throw in the towel. My brother, I got on to invite you, to beg and plead with you to come home. You see, a child, no matter what age, and trust me, I have counseled, I've spoken with men and women, I'm talking about well over the age of 21, that absolutely miss their fathers still, till today. The year 2021, they are still missing their father. There is something to be said about a man that comes home. There's something that really would, I'm telling you now, whatever you've done, no matter what your sin, your grievance was, no matter how bad it's been, whether you were addicted on drugs, and I know real instances where brothers have basically messed up their family, blew up their family because they have gone out there and made another child with another woman and basically left their primary family to be with that woman. And next thing you know, they're not even with that woman, but they have kids by that woman, and they have kids by the previous relationship. And men sometimes have gotten on drugs and couldn't get the monkey off their back. So they basically decided to give way to it, just to let the monkey just do whatever they want with them. And they don't go back home because they realize, look at me, I'm filthy, I'm dirty, I don't have anything to contribute. I don't have any money. I barely have a place to stay. I'm not really making ends meet. I'm living with my partner, I'm living with my man, or I got this room, or I got this one bedroom, I don't have enough room for the kids. I'm sending money. But brothers, there is nothing like having daddy in your life. I mean, even if you don't have enough money, that child deep down, the core of that child, would welcome your presence in their lives. I promise you. If you may have to go and sort through hostility, anger, you may have to go through a child telling you off and telling you, really turning it up all the way, letting you know all the ways that you have basically mistreated them and abandoned them and left them. All of those things might be true. They may be true. And you as a man, what you're going to have to learn to do is stand down. Meaning, say what you're going to say. Keep it in the parameters of being respectful. But sometimes hurt brings out the worst in people. Sometimes words may be said that are very hurtful to hear. Even if they're true. No one wants to hear it that much. No one wants to have it pushed in their face. But my brother, after that, joy does come. Even the Bible speaks about weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. Your child, whether she's 32, 52, 72, 22, 12, or 2, whether it's a man or it's a woman, it doesn't matter. Your presence in that child's life means more than the void does. You see, because when something is empty, it can be filled with anything. Oftentimes, it's the wrong thing. But children, young people, sometimes will take something that's offered as opposed to nothing. And you see these young ladies, and I mean, come on, brothers. You see these young ladies who will go out there and start dating older men, or will be taken advantage of by a man simply because they have unresolved emotional issues from being left or abandoned by daddy. You can father a child, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're the dad to that child. I'm inviting you and I'm asking you, brother, why don't we make this year, 2021, Father's Day, which is in a couple hours, why don't you come home? Why don't you come home and give it another round? You have been created to take a licking and to keep on ticking like a Timex. You've been created to shoulder and weather storms. You have been. You might have had the wind knocked out of you. I'll tell you a secret. All of us have. If you speak to any man and he's really a man, you might have to ask him in privacy and in secrecy, have you been knocked down before? Have you been nearly knocked out before? But wait, ask the question, have you wanted to give up before? I don't believe that you can ever be a man and don't really come to that realization that you want to give up. But here's the difference. Real men, they stick and they stay. As hard as it gets, and it does get very hard. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It gets hard just because you're a man and you're expected to have it all. You're expected to do it all, but you have a great ability. You see, you set the precedence when you start stepping like a man. When you start standing like you should, shoulders squared, you set the precedence for how things are going to go. I don't care if it's a one bedroom. I don't care if it's a kitchenette. You set the precedence by your presence alone. She looks up to you. And the children look and go, well, if mommy's looking up, daddy. Because when daddy comes home, it becomes a home. You've heard the saying, yes, a woman can make it a home. But without that man there always will be a void. No matter how much you look at it, and I'm going to say something controversial, two women who are in a relationship still don't make it a man and woman. No matter what you prefer sexually. It's not the same. Our spirits, our DNA, the way we step into something, we own it, but it's not easy. I'll be the first to say, super difficult, and just by way of a real personal experience, when my son was being born, my first son, Timothy, it was during the worst period of my life. I cried out to God one time in particular because I felt the walls closing in on me. His mother couldn't work. She was bringing in a little bit of money. I had jumped out the window and got a bold move, get this, and left Wall Street and then found out I was having a child. If it had been the other way, I would have never done it. But whatever the case may be, I found myself in a position of want. I had a pregnant woman looking at me with my child on her stomach. What were we going to do? I had her son that she came into the relationship with looking also, Mom, you got your faith and confidence in him? Okay, what are we going to do? And I'm getting up every single day doing the best I could to keep a roof over our head. I had 4 jobs. I had 4 different jobs at the same time, and neither was paying me enough. I slept, literally, I was out the house for 21 and a half hours every day. I fell asleep at a light so hard, you would have thought that I was in an infinity pool or laid out on some beach. I fell asleep, like knocked out, woke up, didn't know where I was, delirious. And this went on and on and on. Right before Tim was being born. And I'm stressing every day. It's because of Tim I have this bag underneath this eye right here. But you know what happened? I kept swinging back at the challenges. I kept fighting. I kept fighting to stay afloat. I kept fighting and doing what I could. And with the helping hand from God, because no friends came and gave me money. I did get benevolence from the church. I had been a tither, of course. I asked them and they gave me a one-shot benevolence fund. Can I tell you how much it blessed me? But God eventually, what he did was, he didn't take me out of the situation. He strengthened me within the situation. Now here it is, there I was, a former vice president on Wall Street, able to purchase a 5-bedroom house, have the luxury cars, the motorcycles, and all of this. And here I am right now with my back against the wall, wondering what am I going to do, and looking at my child get bigger and bigger in his mother's stomach. What am I saying to you? That no matter what the circumstances that you found yourself in, there is someone that has had it just as bad, if not worse than you. But you too can make it. You see, I kept walking. And I know other brothers who have gone through things, they just kept walking. They kept fighting. They kept swinging. And it worked out. It works out. It does work out. You're going to have to put some sweat equity into it. No one is going to maybe give you a hand out, but they'll give you a hand up. And I'm one of them. I'm asking you, brother, why don't you come home? Why don't you give it another shot? Why don't you call your child up tomorrow if you can't go by, if they're not in the same state? If they are, why don't you go by? Ask to speak to the child and just tell them, I know I messed up. I know I screwed up. I'm not even debating that. But I'm going to do better. I'm going to give it another shot. I don't like to say try because a try is a failure. I'm going to do my very best to make amends at this relationship and to do what you need me to do and to be what you need me to be and to give what you need for me to give. And oftentimes, brother, more than your money, it is your love. It is your support. It is your strength. It is your wings. Children look to the man for security, just like the woman does. And I know you have the weight of the world on your shoulders. Welcome to manhood. You see, but there are only two types of men. There are males, those that are born with male's genitalia, that go to the bathroom standing up. And then there are men who do whatever is necessary in order to achieve success. By any means necessary. Legally, let me put that into it. So, brother, as we're entering into Father's Day, I know there are a great many of you who won't be celebrating it with your child. Maybe due to embarrassment. Maybe the child's mother got married again. Great. You don't have to marry her. You don't have to get reconciled to her. What I'm asking you to do is go cover that child. If it's a 2-year-old or 4-year-old and you know that they're getting out of school, listen, brother. I know that right now times are tight for some people. I know that it's not as easy as we'd like it to be. Funds are not as fluid. The stimulus packages are long gone. But there is still a way that you can go there and a child will sincerely appreciate your presence. Here's what I want you to do. I know it's late. I want you to DM me right here. And I want you to let me know, hey, T Speaks, I want to go see my child, man. Want to take something to my child. It's Father's Day, man. Want to take my child out. Want to take my child to McDonald's. I want to take my child for some ice cream. I don't know where you're located in the world. But if you talk to me and you let me know what's going on, I'm going to do my best to help you. If it's financial, okay. If you need a ride to your child's house and you're in the New Jersey area, then just get at me. Then let me know. All I can do is what I can do. And that's be there for you. Why? Because I believe that for some reason, men are the most isolated creatures in the entire earth. Not even male animals. No, men. We walk around like we got it all together. And meanwhile, we are crying and dying inside. Women have all kinds of support groups. You go get in a shelter, women can get in a shelter with a child faster than a man who's living under a bridge by himself can. Why is that possible when we're both in need? Because the way the system is set up, we are supposed to have it all together. We are supposed to be able to figure it out. But I've got news for you. Sometimes we can't figure it out individually. But together we can do it. And we've got. I'm calling you to order. I'm not calling you out. I'm calling you up to a higher level in your thinking, a higher level in your position. And I'm asking you, for this Father's Day, why don't you come home? You can DM me right here. T Speaks Live. You can Gmail me at 10minutestspeaks at gmail.com. If you need to call me, 917-363-3514. That's my direct line. Holla at me. Whichever way you need to get to me, let me know what's going on and what I can do. Because I want you to know that you have a brother that loves you, that cares for you, and that wants you reconciled with your child or children. They need you, man. Straight up, they need you. They need what you bring more than the packages, more than the bags of groceries. They don't need groceries as much as they need your love. They need your security, your direction. I don't care if you didn't get out of grade school. They still need you. I don't care if you have $2 in your pocket. They still need you. And you want to spend it on, 2 Lucy's. I don't care. They need you. I need you to stand up and to do your part. Because here's what's going to happen. When you come home, not if, when you come home, you're going to change the life of that child or children. And we're going to push the next generation forward. We're going to change time. You see, because we probably have more days behind us than we do in front of us, some of us. But we can make the next generation better. We can make the next generation reach further. We can make the next generation stronger. How are they going to get there? On our shoulders. On our shoulders and with our effort. So I'm asking you, brother, come home. As Father's Day approach, I am excited. I want to hear about your stories. I want to see your pictures. Hey, man, I love you. I'm T Speaks, and it won't just be good when you do it. Nah. All things will be righteous. All things righteous. I've got something for my sisters, my brothers, and the children. God's placed a lot inside of me, and you are on my heart. All the programs that they have for women, I endeavor to create those programs for men, for you to catch your breath. It's free space right here. No judgment. If you need me, I gave you all my information. I'd like you guys to share this out for some man that needs to hear it. Some man that's ashamed, that won't go home because he know he's done so much. Who hasn't? Truth be told, who hasn't messed up? But the difference is, some of us get up. Don't stay there any longer. It's better, I promise, on your feet than it is on your back. I promise it's better to move forward than to stand still. I promise that if you take one step, I'll meet you with the second. And God will meet us with the third. And together we'll get there, 2 by 2. Love and unity. I'm T Speaks, family. And I'm not going to let you go because I believe in you. You want to know why? Because I am you. Reach out to me if you need to. Brother, it's time to come home.